Success is different for everybody. Some people just want to be able to live comfortably, provide for their family, and live an easy and comfortable life. I was different. I wanted it all. I dropped out of college and wanted to create something incredible for myself. But what if I told you that most of the information online was leading you down the completely wrong path? These are the 5 things I wish I knew when I was broke. Nobody cares about your excuses. And I know that's a really harsh reality for a lot of you that are entering the business world, but this is going to be very different than how you were probably treated in school. In school, there's a lot of reward around effort. And unfortunately, in the business world, we don't really reward effort. And so effort without getting the end result in the business world is not really worth anything. You try as hard as you want, put in as many hours as you want. If you don't actually attain the result, then all of that effort is really worthless. Think about when you spend money, when you're a consumer, you're purchasing other people's products and services. You don't care either. You don't care if that person is having a bad day or that stuff came up. You care about getting the result because that's what you paid your hard-earned money to get. And it's just something that I think needs to be kind of repeated, because a lot of you, when you're coming out into the business world as young guys, 18 to 25, you're still just not used to this just really harsh, cutthroat reality that is the business world. I think this is something that, if I knew this when I was broke, I would have saved a lot of my energy just basically explaining myself to people and, making up excuses. And I would have channeled that energy into really just drilling down on learning and solving the problems that I was having so that I could deliver the results. And so, again, it's just one of those, it's just an energy shift. These people don't care. So don't try and get them to care. Don't use your energy to explain your situation. If something came up, you simply just let them know, hey, there's going to be a delay. This is how I'm going to compensate you for the delay. And this is when you can expect the result that you wanted. Money does not buy happiness. Different things yield more happiness for yourself. And so yes, driving a car that you prefer may bring you more happiness, but it is not going to make you happy. It's not going to put you into a constant state of happiness. You have to be a happy person. You need to be a grateful person. This is the things that are going to make you appreciate life. When you appreciate life and you appreciate all that life comes with, which is the bad things and the good things, then you will appreciate the happy things and the good things that money buys. Even after you've bought the car, the new apartment, the new house, the new restaurants, those crazy steaks, all that stuff is great, but all that stuff is fleeting and it'll hardly make you as happy as it does the first time you try it. Happiness is just one state. I think a lot of my happiness comes from progression. It comes from knowing that you're solving problems, continuously growing and evolving and becoming more of a person that's aligned with that ideal person that we all have in our own heads. Money is a tool to get you to have experiences that you like. Money will put you more in control of where you spend your time, but it doesn't mean you're going to be happy all the time. I think a lot of you, if you're broke and you're unhappy, that's a problem. I saw 50 Cent say this and I really related to this, but some people just don't know how to be happy. And so I was living a much better life broke than I think a lot of people are even living rich. And it's because you chase money and you think that's the only variable and you end up just rich and lonely and you don't feel fulfilled. And that's not something that brings happiness. Happiness to me is a slow morning, getting up, walking to the beach, drinking my coffee, putting my toes in the sand, walk around a little bit, talk to some of my friends in the morning, call my mom, and not feel like I gotta rush or my boss is gonna be mad. I had that happiness when I was making 5K a month, but I was working for myself, and I still have that same level of happiness now when I'm making 200K per month. There's also things that make you happy that you can attain while broke. You can be in great shape while broke. You can be learning and evolving and growing while broke. You can have phenomenal relationships in your life while broke. Money will aid all of those things, but it's never a black and white. It's never an on and off switch. Money is an amplifier. If you enjoy being generous, money can allow you to be more generous. If you enjoy traveling, money can allow you to travel more or travel to the places you prefer to go to. But at the core, if you don't know how to have healthy relationships, whether that's personal or business, if you don't have things that interest you, that light you up, that make you curious, that make you go into this flow state where you're not focused on anything for hours on end, you're just completely consumed by whatever you're doing. If you don't have those things, money is not going to bring those things into your life. It may give you more chances to try new things, but money is not going to put a healthy relationship in your life. Money is not going to make you more healthy. These are things you need to be conscious and interested in way before money and money will amplify those things. I think a lot of you are miserable and broke and you're thinking that money is going to solve all your problems, and it's just not fucking true. A lot of your problems could start being solved now. You should be pretty happy for you are now, because even if you're broke, do you have 2 legs? Okay, cool. There's a lot of people with 1 leg, and that sucks a lot more than where you're at with broke with 2 legs, right? You could be broke with 1 leg, and that's even shittier. And so you don't want to be in that mindset. You want to be very grateful and appreciative for where you're at, because you still have hope. If you can watch this video, you can become successful. This goes back to what we call boy math in today's world. Saving alone won't make you rich. You're so conservative over the money you have, right? When you're broke and you're thinking like, do I really want to go out to dinner? Should I travel and do this? Or, should I do this? Oh, I don't know. I want to save my money. The reality is, if you have $10,000 in the bank and you have a $5,000 opportunity come up and you don't spend that money, in my world, you're still broke. You were $5,000 broke or $10,000 broke. Both of those are still broke. You're not actually improving your situation at all. The mindset shift that someone that is pre-successful needs to shift into to become successful is that saving money is not going to get you anywhere. Earning more money is the skill that you want. You need to spend money to learn these skills to be able to eventually earn more money. And so, no, making your coffee at home and saving $2.50 a day, it's actually not going to make you rich. You need to shift your mind away from, I just want to save, make money, save, is make money. Okay, maybe I don't go blow it in the club, but who can I take out to lunch and pay for lunch, who I can just have a good conversation with and maybe learn something from? Or what are some books that I can order? Or what are things that I can do? And I love this expression, when you don't know what to work on yourself. Maybe it doesn't mean spending the money on the business, but it means spending that money on yourself, educating yourself, making yourself more healthy, putting yourself in a better environment, maybe move to a better city. Between 20 and 30, you should spend all of your money to basically improve your ability to earn money. Because if you don't do it during that time, it's very difficult to do that later in life. It's very difficult when you have kids and a wife and more responsibilities to spend that extra money on high income skills or improving yourself. You're going to feel more constricted or more constrained at those later ages. And so one of the first mental shifts that you need to go through, getting comfortable seeing more money go through you, okay? And hopefully that increases the next wave of money in. Where your money goes, your attention flows. I can guarantee if I looked at what you guys spend money on, I'll know exactly what you're prioritizing and what you're focusing on. Because we generally don't spend money in areas that we are not focused on. A lot of times, look through your spending, right? If you're spending a certain amount of money in something and it becomes, let's say, 50% of your spend, just for simplistic terms. But then when you think about it and you're like, well, I shouldn't be spending 50% on that. That's not worth 50% to me. Then you need to change that. And a lot of times if you're not tracking this data, it can be very confusing. Money just comes in, money goes out, and you're really just kind of at a loss. And I think a lot of times money creates a lot of anxiety for people. So they don't really want to track exactly what they're spending money on. 2 things that really helped me was tracking where I spend money and tracking my calories. 2 things that causes people a lot of anxiety. A lot of times this makes them feel very out of control. Their diet's out of whack. Some days they feel good, some days they look good, some days they don't. Then they go through these ebb and flows where they're kind of course correcting, but they never really get into a good rhythm. And I find a lot of people do this with their finances, whether it's the business finances or your personal finances. My recommendation is, download an app like Rocket Money, hook up your credit cards and see where your money is going. And if you're not really tracking, then you can't really make any corrections. So one of the things that I learned really early on was that if you cannot manage your energy and your time, then you have no chance managing money. So if you can't use a calendar, schedule your time, build routines, structure your day, get sleep on time, say no to things that are draining you, say yes to things that light you up and give you energy, that's something you can control now, okay? Maybe there's not a lot of money moving through your hands, so you can focus on, let me control my time, let me control my energy, let me track where I spend my time and my energy, and let me optimize. Where can I be more efficient? Where can I get a better return on spending time? And those 2 things are really important. They're usually the precursor to being able to manage your money, track your money. And I just think it's a really important thing. It doesn't really matter the level of income you're at. Saving your money is not going to get you to where you want to go. But if you basically have bad habits, bad financial habits, you need to be tracking these things so that you can improve. Because I'll tell you what, if you can't track 10K a month coming into your bank account and knowing where it goes and knowing how much you spent, when you get to 100K a month, you may be making more money and it may feel good, but money is going to be coming in and out of your account and you're going to have no clue where it went, and it can be very stressful. And so that's why I really think it's important for you to build good habits now. And so lesson 3, to sum it up, you really need to be in charge in tracking your spending. You need to know where your money is going. How valuable the internet really is. And I don't think a lot of you have really considered how much value you now have access to just through the internet alone. When I was growing up, maybe a little bit different now, but there's a lot of this push back against the internet, right? They didn't like that you were inside on your phone. They didn't like that you were playing video games. They didn't like that you're watching YouTube videos. And I just look back and it's like, I wish that was something that was a little bit more encouraged for myself, because there's so much value in the internet, and I was actually learning so much through the internet. I was on YouTube watching videos just like this all the time, and I watched them about fitness, I watched them about biohacking, I watched them about trading, I watched it about anything that caught my interest. I would just deep dive into it, and I learned so much through that. And so the internet is just really, really valuable, and I kind of want to break down a few ways that I've derived so much value from the internet and how much money I've made through the internet. And so hopefully you guys then have a different appreciation for what you really have access to. So the first thing is learning. I put out a lot of videos like this just for free. Why do people put out these videos for free? Like, why do they exist? To be honest, if you're going to do business with my company, I'd like you to know that I'm the founder. I'd like you to know that I know what I'm talking about. I'd like you to know that I've been creating content for a long time and that I'm a real person. You've actually seen me develop. It's the same for $100 million CEOs, right? It doesn't always have to be a direct correlation. They don't always have to sell a course, but they're basically putting out content to qualify themselves to you guys who are the potential customers, right? The internet is really, really good for education, and not everyone learns at the same way. I'm a little bit ADHD. Sometimes I'm a little bit, I want to focus on this today, then tomorrow I'm going to focus on something else. And so, school and corporate 9-to-5 jobs are just very, very rigid. And I felt like that never complemented my personality type, where I can be a little bit all over the place. I love the internet for basically giving me access to click from one link to another and learn a whole different topic. And I basically would trick myself into learning for hours, because I would just go from topic to topic that I thought that interests me. And so the internet is an absolute goldmine for self-educating yourself. You can learn just about anything on the internet, especially YouTube, but it's also good for making money. And so as you guys know, I work with all social media creators. We create content on social media for free. This is why it's such an important lesson for broke people. Is YouTube is free. Making money online, posting a video, it going viral, and you can make money on TikTok Shop. You can do that for free. And so you can go work your 9-to-5 job, come home, watch a few YouTube videos, learn a little bit, and then then try, and you can post videos online from your house, and you can start making money that way. And I really feel like, for me, when I realized that I posted something online and then someone instantly wants something from my website, it rewires your brain. It really does. And you start thinking about things so much differently, because you're just like, oh wow, I can just sit in my bedroom super comfy, got athleisure clothes on, and I can try and fail 100 times and nobody knows the difference, because I'm just in my room and I'm posting videos, and it's free to do that. And I really encourage you guys, explore the internet. This is where so much money is going to be made. The internet is a gold mine. This is something that you need to learn. This is something you need to become familiar with. You need to build skills that allow you to make more money through the internet. The internet is so broad, and it encompasses so many different customers, that all of your customers that you desire, if you're a business owner, are on the internet in some place. And so learning how to create content for them in the places that they like to hang out is a really important skill, and that's when I learned. And so again, if I would go back and talk to myself as a younger me, I would be telling myself, listen, you made that first YouTube video at 15. I didn't post another YouTube video till I think I was 23 years old. Now, what if I just kept creating YouTube videos the entire time? My brand would be massive. It would be absolutely massive, and it would help me in so many ways. And that is such a big mistake, because at that time I got made fun of for making that YouTube video. My friends made fun of me, my family made fun of me. They didn't understand it. It was very different. They're like, oh, you think you're going to be famous, you're going to make a YouTube video. I wish I was a little bit more encouraged, because to be honest, what I was doing is I was getting familiar with a huge network that would eventually give me a space to build an entire business. And so you need to be building up your familiarity and your skill sets based around the internet, and where you can use those skills to make money.